Alrighty, what's going on, everyone? How's it going? We're here yet again for another day of shiny hunting, looking for good old Victini. We are at 2,500 encounters, and we're also throwing out good old unknown onto the shiny hunting world sphere. I don't know where I was going with that. I never hardly ever know where I'm going with anything. Words come out and we just it's that one Michael Scott quote from The Office. It's like, sometimes I start talking and have no clue where I'm going. I just assume I'll find it somewhere, you know, something like that. I very much feel that to my core. I am very much that person. But yeah, we got Victini, we got unknown, and we are back here again today looking for another shiny. You know, last month, March, was a very good month for us for full odd shinies, so wouldn't be at all surprised if April was a terrible month and we don't find anything. But let's not think negatively. Let's keep a positive mindset and let's just keep going, moving forward, and try and find something rather wild. Which would, I mean, Victini is the rather wild thing, considering, you know, it is shiny locked away in the shiny prisons of Nintendo, of Game Freak. But we have circumvented those shiny locks. We have broken Victini free. Not yet, but eventually when we do find the shiny, we will have broken it free, thanks to the power of action replay. Again, I'm assuming that I have the shiny lock code going enacted correctly and all that, because yeah, we really want it to. I feel so awkward this morning. I feel like I don't know what's been in the water, what's been in the air for me recently. I know what's been in the air. It's been freaking pollen. In the water though, who knows? I've been like a little off. It probably is the pollen got me feeling all weird, all out of sorts. But yeah, where was I going before that? Who knows? But it is a nice, beautiful Wednesday. I had a pretty busy morning with work. I spent about three to 4-ish hours. And I got something like itching me right here. Goodness. Red Fox, what up? How's it going? I spent a good like 3 hours this morning for work, just reviewing over like 25 documents, checking to make sure that they were revised and you know, checked and edited correctly. So that was a good, fun little morning thing. But then after that, it was a pretty peaceful day at work, so not too bad, nothing to complain about. But I'm doing solid, Red Fox. I'm doing solid. Thanks for asking. It was like I said, it was a good day. A little bit busy in the morning, but other than that, it was kind of smooth sailing. I did multitask. I watched the Nintendo Direct this morning along with working on my document stuff, so I did catch that live, which is surprising. I think I got lucky that YouTube just recommended me the Nintendo live stream like 15 minutes beforehand, because if they hadn't done that, I probably would have forgotten. But I did watch that direct while trying to multitask and get some stuff done. As someone who really only plays Pokemon for video games, I don't really play anything outside of Pokemon. I spent most of the direct being like, oh, that's cool, that's fun, I've heard of that game, very cool. The only part that really got me like excited was the GameCube Nintendo Switch Online thing, where you can play Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness now. Call of Duty. Okay. I just had a miniature stroke right there. Goodness. Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness, being able to play those on the Switch is pretty cool. So that was my big hype moment from the Nintendo Direct. That's where I was like, oh, yo, that's pretty sweet. Rest of the time I was like, nice, cool. I thought the Hyrule Warriors looked pretty sweet for the, whatchamacallit, Tears of the Kingdom edition. I'd forgotten that Hyrule Warriors was a thing that they did like after Breath of the Wild as well. I thought it was like a new Legend of Zelda thing. So like when it first came up, I was like, oh sweet, they have another Legend of Zelda game coming out? That's kind of crazy. I forgot that Hyrule Warriors existed before all this. So I thought it was pretty neat. And then Yeah, all those like third-party games that they're now going to be having on the Switch, like Hitman and Elden Ring and Yakuza, all that. I've never played any of those games, but you know, the wider the gaming catalog, the better. So I thought that was pretty sweet. Thought that was a pretty cool. I was kind of surprised that, you know, they did mention that Pokemon Legends ZA will be getting like a enhanced Switch 2 version. You know, they mentioned that like there'll be certain games that have like a Nintendo Switch 2 edition that makes it, you know, run better compared to on the regular Switch. I was kind of surprised they didn't mention Scarlet and Violet having one of those variations. Maybe they never actually will release Scarlet and Violet with a variation like that. Maybe because they don't want to admit that okay, no, it actually didn't register. They might not want to ever admit that, like, hey, yeah, you know, Scarlet Violet, maybe that actually wasn't our best effort. Maybe it didn't run the smoothest or the greatest. Maybe they don't want to admit that, so we'll never get a Switch 2 enhanced Scarlet Violet. Or maybe we will. Who knows? Maybe they just wanted to focus on speaking on Legends ZA because that is the new hot topic for Pokemon. But yeah, that outside of the Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness being in the GameCube online, that was all we got for Pokemon. You didn't see anything else that I can recall. And then I think what else? The new Mario Kart looks cool. I never really played Mario Kart 8 very much. That's there are definitely other Mario Kart games that I've not played that much, but Mario Kart 8, yeah, was not one I sunk a lot of time into. I think Double Dash on the GameCube was the one I played the most in my life, but I think I had Mario Kart for the DS. I played somewhat, if I remember correctly. But new Mario Kart does look cool. I don't know if I'll be getting a Switch 2. I doubt I'll be getting a Switch 2 on launch. I imagine I will wait until whatchamacallit. If I get one, I'll wait until Legends ZA comes out. That would probably be when I upgrade and get a Switch 2. And even then, I'm not entirely sure if I will do that or not. If it comes out and we realize that, wow, okay, Legends ZA doesn't run that great on on the regular Switch. Okay, my one game over here is not reacting to my controller super well. If we do come to realize that Legends ZA doesn't look the greatest on the regular Switch and that like you really need to play it on the Switch too, maybe I'll cave then. We'll see. It's a little expensive. It is a little tiny bit expensive though. A little bit of a price tag, and I don't use the 2 Nintendo Switches I have all that much right now, so would it be in my best economical interest to buy a Switch 2? Maybe not, but that is all something I can consider down the line, down the road. I did for a second think that they were going to announce like a... Okay, that did count. I'm surprised I got that. I did think for a second they were going to announce Kingdom Hearts on the Switch because Square Enix popped up and I was like, oh, yo, Kingdom Hearts? That's the only game I know of for Square Enix. But it was a Bravely Default instead. And yeah, at first I was like, yo, no way, we getting Kingdom Hearts on the Switch? That's crazy. Sora was in Smash, so that makes sense. No, wasn't Kingdom Hearts. But all in all, looks cool. I like the performance, you know, what they say it'll perform. What was it, like 120 FPS, and on the TV you can play up into like 4K or something. If that's all true and it actually does run that well and smooth, I mean, shoot, that's pretty it's pretty good. So it will be nice to see if it actually does make a big difference in terms of performance and everything. Oh, and then the Nintendo Switch Discord, as people were calling it, the chat feature. I think that's pretty neat. I think that's kind of cool. I understand for a lot of people, they'll still just stick to, for the more hardcore gamers, they'll probably just stick to Discord or whatever they would normally use while playing games with others. But for more casual people, you know, for like families and stuff, you know, that want to play with maybe their family friends, or maybe they have a kid off at college or away that, you know, and they want to play together and stuff. I could see the like the Switch chat being available during the game. I can see that having its functionality and feature for some people. For the less intense gamers out there, for the people that are just more, you know, oh hey, we can chat with our, you know, son while he's off here there. Sure, let's do that while we play the game, you know, stuff like that. Oh, there we go. If the camera thing does end up being a little bit more involved in some games, I could see that being kind of a neat feature. Like they were showing it off mainly with Mario Party. If you could incorporate that camera thing a little bit more into like the other games, like I was thinking, imagine if you could use the camera while you're playing like Mario Kart or something, and your face is just like on you, like your face is on the back of your character's head. So like when you're playing multiplayer with your friends, if they're like behind you, they just see your face in front of them from the camera, and you can like taunt them and stuff while you're racing. You know, that could be kind of cool. That seems a little far-fetched and they probably won't do that, but if that was a functionality they did introduce, I could see that being kind of neat. You know, throwing your face into the games, multiplayer like that, I could see that being kind of fun. Goodness. Looking up and seeing the, you know, the theme that's playing right now being Hoenn Victory Road kind of got me thinking about, I don't think I mentioned it in the last stream, but I've actually watched it twice now. Pichao Pokemon Challenges video about Run and Bun, that 3-hour long video they put out. Incredible video, just incredibly well made video. You know, freaking anime intro and a Pokemon Nuzlocke video. Freaking caught me off guard. It was really freaking cool. Had like an actual band or artist like create a theme song for it. It was pretty sweet. But watching the video has me unwarrantedly, is that even a word? Has given me unwarranted confidence that I could attempt something like Run and Bun. Like watching that video like inspired me. I'm like watching it like, oh, I should give this a shot. I bet I could do this. I can give it a chance. There's no shot in hell I could beat Run and Bun. I probably couldn't ever beat, like, I probably couldn't get past Roxanne. Like, I might could luck my way past Brawly, but I doubt I could ever even beat Roxanne. Okay, I think I accidentally clicked through that a little too fast there. So, add 2 to the encounters. Accidentally clicking a little too quickly. But yeah, it's got me a bit giving me a bit of unwarranted confidence, thinking that I could give it a shot. But hey, maybe I'll give it a go one day. I've only ever done one hardcore Nuzlocke, so probably going from only one one hardcore Nuzlocke under my belt to the hardest hardcore Nuzlocke you could do. Probably not the greatest idea in the world, but hey, I also am the one who decided to do a Shiny Living Dex in a game with 600 Pokemon, and there's barely any ways of increasing the method. So like, I'm not necessarily known for making the best decisions on, you know, what I should preoccupy my time with. So giving Run and Bun a shot would definitely be on brand for me. Shoot, I feel like even if I didn't play that game by Nuzlocke rules, as in like I caught whatever Pokemon I could, if they fainted, I didn't, they weren't like dead. Like if I just played through the game casually, I probably still couldn't beat it. Like with every tool, every Pokemon at my disposal, like no deaths, just playing through the game, I probably still couldn't beat it. But maybe I'm selling myself short. Maybe. Man, oh man. Goodness gracious. The moon haunts me. What's up? What's up? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for dropping on in. But I appreciate that. Thank you. I would say I would say that's where I got my inspiration, but I've never played Stardew Valley, so I guess maybe I should. Maybe me and my tastes align with that game. But how's it going? that encounter go through? It did. Okay, we good. Gotta keep on my P's and Q's, getting these encounters through. Lots of farming and items. Okay, similar to Minecraft, so I should probably give it a shot. I do haven't played Minecraft in a second, but I did enjoy Minecraft for a long time, so I'm gonna give it a shot. But I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking. It's been a pretty chill day. Not too much to write home about. Work was a little busy at the beginning of the day, but then kind of mellowed out throughout the rest. So I have just been chilling, watched the Nintendo Direct earlier. It's pretty nice. Nice chill day. Which is always good for going into the last day of the week, since tomorrow is my last work day before the weekend. And considering my manager just left to go to France and will not be on the computer or in touch with me in any way, I'm thinking tomorrow is going to be a rather chill day. I could always be wrong, but I'm definitely hoping that it is a chill day tomorrow. We'll see. I do have there's another manager within the group that will be, checking in on me potentially, maybe. And then also depending on this project that I'm working on, it has been kind of in a lull at the moment. So it's always possible. We are working with another vendor and they do like to throw stuff at me on Thursday afternoons. So we'll see if that happens. Yeah, level 90 Eucalyptus. What up, what up? And thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Ask some advice on what nature and movement to run on Porygon 2 for a defensive type. Is either him or Snorlax. I guess in what generation? Like Gen 9 you run in Porygon 2 defensive? I don't know too terribly much about Generation 9 meta and mechanics. For Blaze Black 2, okay. Does Blaze Black 2 change up movesets? Like, do Pokemon learn different things than normal in that game? That is a ROM hack I've been wanting to play for the longest time. I just have not jumped on it. But I'm an engineer. So I do fun engineering things. But as for running defensive Porygon 2, I guess, have you made it far enough to get the Eviolite? I know you get the Eviolite in Castelia cities, so obviously once you get to that point, you want to grab that. Unless they took it out of the game, moved it around. Okay, already got the Eviolite. That'll certainly help you out. Then let's see. Are you download or what are Porygon 2's abilities? Download and analytic? What ability do you got? Gotta remember to move around. Rather have download if possible. Yeah, download would definitely be better. Download is a really useful ability, especially if you can get that special attack boost. Obviously Tri-Attack, you're hatching a lot of eggs. Okay, gotcha. Tri-Attack, main stab you want to go with. Good for inflicting potential statuses. So Tri-Attack's definitely a must. I mean, you can never go wrong with Bolt Beam. Now, I know, like, you want to run Porygon 2 defensively, but Porygon 2 is kind of good at soaking hits, but also kind of dealing damage as well. I know it gets Recover. I don't know if that's like an egg move or that's something it naturally gets. Running Swift. Swift wouldn't be terrible. It's a little bit weaker than Tri-Attack. Not too informed on Pokemon. Oh, well, yeah, yeah, no worries. You're plenty welcome to hang out here. If you have any Pokemon questions, I will try my best to ask. I like to consider myself fairly knowledgeable on Pokemon. Maybe not so much the newer stuff. I haven't really played new gens, but generations like 1 to 5, and then like 6 and 7 relatively as well. I would say I'm a pretty knowledgeable one. Your moveset was Thunderbolt, Tri-Attack, Magic Coat, and Recover. Okay, I mean that's a solid moveset right there. You have Recover, that's really good, obviously for a tank, for a wall. Thunderbolt's really good coverage. If you could get Ice Beam, Bolt Beam is a really good tandem to run together. They cover each other really well because, you know, Ice Beam hits ground types that Thunderbolt cannot. Thunderbolt has good neutral coverage against types that Ice Beam can't hit and hits water super effectively. Cradilly? You're saying Cradilly defensively? Yeah, Cradilly's a cool Pokemon, but it's not like the greatest Pokemon ever. I mean, Storm Drain is a really useful ability, and its defensive typing is not the worst. Do I play any other games? Not really, to be honest. I'm kind of a Pokemon only person. I do play Pokemon. I don't just shiny hunt. So I do also like play through. I've been doing Kaizo Ironmon in my playing of Pokemon, but no, really, I'm a Pokemon first and only gamer at the moment. I would like to play more video games, but it's just hard to find the time. And Pokemon is kind of what I've sunk most of my time in time into over the last 7, 8 years. Because I used to play League of Legends a lot, but then I gave that up because that game was cursed. The game was toxic. What am I doing at the moment? I am shiny hunting. I am looking for either a shiny unknown or a shiny Victini. Victini's the main hunt. That's the one I, am most eagerly looking for, but then have unknown on the side down here that I'm also looking for as well. Is the percentage in ETs? Not at all. Not one bit. No, my odds of getting a shiny for both of these hunts is 1 in 8,192. So the worst odds that have ever been in the series are the odds that I'm hunting on right now. But there's no better odds to get these Pokemon on, unfortunately. So hunt in these, hunt in this way, I must. But you also got a Victini on your team? Very nice, very nice. Victini is a powerful Pokemon. Learns a lot of good moves. Oh, gotta go down a little bit. Yeah, Victini is a sick design. It is certainly up there as one of my favorite mythicals. I would say Jirachi is definitely my favorite mythical. I would put... Jirachi's definitely number 1. Victini and Mew might be kind of tied. I do really like Mew, but Victini has a great design as well. I am kind of partial to Celebi because Crystal Generation 2 was my first ever generation of games. Crystal was my first game. So, do like Celebi. Also, the whole Celebi movie from way back in the day. I remember that one being pretty good. But I do really like Victini's typing. I think Fire Psychic's a cool type. Very offensive typing. First game was yellow, but... Yeah, I struggled a lot with just getting through Emerald, or Crystal in general. I think Crystal was my first game, but I didn't beat it until like much later after getting it. I got the game when I was like 5. I don't think I beat Crystal for the first time until I was like close to 10 years old. But that's also mainly because at some point during that time I got Ruby, and I was probably 7, 8 when Ruby came out. So I understood things a lot more as a 7, 8-year-old than I did a 5-year-old. And I ended up playing Ruby a lot growing up. And then at some point I was like, oh, I should probably also play Crystal, get that one, figured out. What really stumped me as a child, you know, being a dumb kid that refused to read, I could not get past Sudowoodo. You know, eventually I got past Whitney and her demonic Miltank, but because I never read how to get Sudowoodo out of the way, I never really got beyond the 3rd gym until I was much older. Whitney's bad. Whitney's bad, one, when you don't know the mechanics of Pokemon too well. So when you're a new player, she can definitely be tough. But like once you know what you're doing and you know about her, like she's really not, like she is more challenging than a lot of gym leaders in the game, but it's not like you can work around it when you really know what's going on. But what made the cow strong? Well, for one, it's a fully evolved Pokemon with like, I forget, she like, Miltank has pretty high base stats for that point in the game. I don't remember exactly what Miltank's base stats are, but for like that point in the game, you don't really have access to Pokemon with that high of BST. So there is that. She just has higher BST than you. She runs female Pokemon. You typically have male Pokemon, specifically your starter is more likely to be male. Since she runs a female and you will generally have, you know, a good number of males, she has Attract, which is a really annoying status. And then she has Stomp, and Miltank is surprisingly fast. So Stomp can also flinch, and it's Stab, so it does extra damage. Oh, sorry, BST for base stat total. So Miltank just has like naturally higher stats than most Pokemon available in the game at that point. Like Miltank has pretty decent attack stat. It's pretty bulky. It's, like I said, surprisingly fast. And then Rollout also, you know, last move she, and what, I think, does she have Milk Drink in Crystal as well? I think she does. So she has a healing move in Milk Drink that allows her to restore her HP without even using an item. So that's kind of annoying. And then she's got a move that can flinch. And since she's pretty fast, she's very likely to outspeed you and could flinch you. And then she has Rollout, which builds in power and can do massive damage if you let it build out far enough. So, you know, if you're not adequately prepared and you don't know the game too well, she can be a challenge. But, you know, if you just pick up a Geodude, I think by that point you would have a Graveler maybe, or maybe it would just be a Geodude. Either way, Geodude resists all of her moves, so Geodude can take her on, not with much issue. Especially if you have a female Geodude, so you don't have to worry about getting attracted or anything. Let's see. It's exclusive moves the cows. What move? What if I can get English out, goodness. What move are you talking about? What move exclusive? I don't know if any of her moves are exclusive to Miltank. Milk Drink might. Milk Drink might be exclusive to... I can't recall if there are any other Pokemon that learn Milk Drink. Yeah, I don't know for certain. I'm trying to think. It might be exclusive to Miltank, but... I don't know why I feel like... No, okay, I was thinking of Soft Boiled. Basically, Milk Drink is just Miltank's version of Soft Boiled, though, which the Blissey Chansey line have. Now, V-Crate is exclusive to Victini. Yeah, I mean, there was a second where Rayquaza could learn V-Crate as well, but I do think they took that away from Rayquaza, if I remember correctly. There was some time where Rayquaza could use it as well, but yeah, it is Victini's signature move. And a wild move it is. It is a wild move. But I don't know if Clefairy has a signature move, because, yeah, Clefairy uses Metronome in the battle, which can be a pain in the butt, because, you know, depending on what move she randomly draws, but Metronome's not exclusive to Clefairy. She's... You saying Whitney's matchup dependent? I mean, that, yeah, I mean, yeah. What about Clefairy in its last evolution, Clefable? I'm gonna run away. Oh, and I accidentally fought the unknown again. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, Clefable's Clefable's a useful Pokemon, but it can be tricky to find the right situation, because, like, Clefable's weird. It definitely got better with getting the Fairy type, that's for sure, but it's always been more productive than you would think its BST would allow for. Like, it doesn't have any insane stats by any means, but yet it's still pretty useful around. Has horrible SPDF, really? I didn't think it had horrible SPDF. Might not be insanely high. No, yeah, Clefable's SPDF is higher than his defense, actually. Hello. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Clefable has 95 HP, 90 SPDF, and 73 defense. None of which are like terrible stats. You know, 73 defense isn't phenomenal, but could certainly be worse. With 95 HP, I mean, that can help out and go decently, decently far. But maybe for a playthrough, Clefable might not be like the greatest thing ever. It has a wide variety of moves. That is nice. It does learn a good number of moves. Oh man. And being a normal type, being bulky is, bulkier is nice, because it only has one weakness to fighting. Bulky normal types are really useful in that regard because you can only hit them super effectively with one type of move. Why, you know, Snorlax, Porygon, all that are really good. They have really good defensive profiles. I guess, you know, you can't hit them with super effective moves other than fighting, but they also don't resist anything. They have a ghost immunity, but no resistances. Oh, accidentally started running down and not up. Yeah, Milotic is a solid Pokemon. It is solid. It's one Pokemon, though, that I've never really gotten a chance to use in a playthrough. You know, I've used it occasionally online and like Pokemon Showdown and stuff, but I've never used Milotic in the actual playthrough of a game. Getting Feebas and getting it is always just kind of too much of a hassle. I've never actually gotten to use one in-game. But a very cool Pokemon, you know, very cool design, has good stats. Water is also a good defensive typing. I do like that they did kind of an antithesis to Gyarados. You know, both Feebas and Magikarp are, you know, weakly, not very good little fish. But then you evolve them, and Gyarados is like the, you know, big, powerful, menacing, like crazy, offensive, like physically attacking Pokemon. But then Milotic is the more graceful and elegant and special attacking, kind of defensive. I like how they're kind of opposites of each other. It's a cool dynamic. Again, wish Feebas wasn't so rare, especially in the earlier games. You know, making Feebas and Shiny Celebi, what up, how's it going? Making Feebas in especially 3rd gen, and I mean in 4th gen as well, in Diamond Pearl Platinum, just making it so incredibly unlikely to run into just on random occurrence. Like, obviously, if you're going to look for it, you'll find it eventually. It could take a while, and it's annoying, but like, if you don't know Feebas exists, the odds of you just randomly getting it is pretty low. You have to get really lucky. No, Gyarados is physical. In Generation 1, it was more specially capable, but nah, going forward, Gyarados, I think its special attack is its worst stat. Whereas I'm pretty sure its physical attack is its best. It has surprisingly solid SPDEF. I keep accidentally fighting these unknown. I'm not actually trying to do anything to these guys. But Gyarados was still, it was really good in generations 1 to 3, you know, but getting the physical special split in generation 4 really helped out. Giving it physical water type moves. Oh. Goodness, my elbow's been bothering me recently. It's a little tight. No, it is water flying. It definitely looks like it should be a dragon, and a lot of dragon type trainers use one, but it is a water flying type. You know, it gets moves like Dragon Dance, like it certainly gives off the dragon vibe, but even in its mega form, it's still not a dragon type. I always thought that was interesting, making Mega Gyarados water dark. You would have thought they would have made it water dragon, but I mean, dark does make sense. You know, Gyarados is a pretty menacing, impending Pokemon, so that kind of does fit the like dark vibe in a way. But still, you would have thought they would have gone water dragon if they changed the typing. All right, this will be unknown number 300 and no shiny. Yeah, I guess I know the idea was to make dragon a kind of rare exclusive type. You know, they only gave the Dragon type in Gen 1 to my boy Dragonite. I don't know why I mean, I have the plushies and all, but Dragonite's literally on my shirt today. You know, they wanted to make dragons a bit more elusive and rare. And, you know, we get that. Also, making Charizard like a dragon, a starter, would be a little much. And then Gyarados is pretty abundant, and especially since you can get it kind of early. So I can also understand why they wouldn't want to make that a dragon. Maybe just a little too OP. Especially early on in the game. Also, I think giving Gyarados a 4 times weakness to electric is kind of like good balancing. I think if they definitely realized in Generation 1, like a water dragon type in Generation 1 is unstoppable. There's nothing that hits it for super effective damage. Nothing. The only type that's super effective against water dragon is dragon. Yeah, obviously nowadays also fairy, but back in the day, it was just dragon. That was the only typing water dragon was weak to. And in Gen 1, there was only one offensive dragon move, and it was Dragon Rage, which always did 40 damage. So in Gen 1, there would have been no moves to make dragon, like to hit a dragon water type for super effective damage. So I can definitely understand why they wouldn't make Gyarados water dragon. That would be... But, oh, and now I'm accidentally fighting Victini up there. Yeah, dragons have definitely become more common nowadays. Like, they're more abundant. Still a kind of late game type. You don't see too many early game dragons. They've definitely started to introduce some weaker dragons for sure, though. Yeah, for a while, dragons were very elusive and pretty much locked to the post game or late game. I guess starting in Gen 3, they kind of started giving you mid-game dragons. You could get the Vibra, Trapinch to eventually become Vibrava and Flygon. And then Swablu would become Altaria. Like, you could get some mid-game dragons back then in Gen 3. Have they ever done like a truly early game dragon though? Can't remember when can you first encounter Noibat in X and Y? I feel like it's relatively early that you can encounter Noibat. Am I misremembering? It's been a long time. I guess you can get a fossil Tyrant, which is a dragon in X and Y, which is like around the second gym. So yeah, that's a pretty early dragon right there. Trapinch and its evolutions are more closely compared to Garchomp because they're both ground dragon types. Like, Flygon is definitely a worse Garchomp. They have different ways of operating, I would say. Kind of, well, I don't know. I don't really know if there was much of a comparison between Salamence and Flygon, though. I mean, yes, Flygon is a inferior Salamence in terms of like a dragon. Salamence is a pseudo legendary, a really good Pokemon. But definitely talking about ground dragon types, Flygon does get compared to Garchomp a lot. Especially because I know I did for a long time, I thought that Flygon was a pseudo legendary Pokemon, and it's not. And so it gets compared to Garchomp a lot because Garchomp is a pseudo, whereas Flygon is kind of like one of those fake pseudos, the ones that people think are, but they aren't. So they draw comparisons in that way too. I swear, I don't know how that happens sometimes. I know my Staryu is fainted, but Illuminate is still supposed to be working. Yeah, Garchomp's a pseudo. In fact, I don't even think it's controversial to say, in terms of like sheer strength, Garchomp is the strongest pseudo legendary. Like, it's the best one. Dragapult might give it a run for its money, but Garchomp is really freaking strong. So the requirements for being considered a pseudo legendary is, 3 Pokemon line. So Spiritomb is not a pseudo. The requirements for being a pseudo legendary are having 3 Pokemon to your line. So Like for the Garchomp, let's say you have Gible, you have Gabite, you have Garchomp. It's a 3 Pokemon evolutionary line. It takes 1.25 million EXP to get to level 100. I believe that's the amount it takes for a pseudo legendary to get to level 100, and have 600 base stat total. Is Garchomp stronger than Snorlax? I mean, yeah, in terms of total BST, yeah, and I would say, I mean, if they 1v1'd, I guess if Snorlax, I don't know, does Snorlax learn? Snorlax has to learn ice moves. I mean, yes, on paper, Garchomp is stronger than Snorlax. Snorlax was never banned from singles competitive play, whereas Garchomp has been. So, yeah, I would say, yeah, Garchomp is definitely stronger than Snorlax. I mean, there's a reason why Cynthia is considered the strongest and greatest champion out there. It's because she has a Garchomp, and her Garchomp is incredibly hard to take on because of how strong freaking Garchomp is. Like, it has pretty respectable bulk, has incredible attack, and it's actually pretty fast. Especially back in Gen 4 when Garchomp first came out, like, 102 speed is like, that was really fast back then. Nowadays, 102 speed is, you know, kind of middle of the road fast. Like, it's still fast, but it's not like the fastest thing out there, you know. It's more average fast, whereas back in Gen 4, 102 speed was like, okay, this is one of the faster Pokemon out there. What made it banned? I haven't brushed up on my Gen 4 mechanics in a while. Or Gen 4 singles lore. It was just incredibly strong. Like, it's just a really freaking strong Pokemon. Like I said, it's pretty fast, especially for Gen 4 standards back then. Has really good attack. I think it has a Sand Veil, right, as one of the abilities. I know it has Rough Skin as an ability, but I think another one is Sand Veil, which lowers your opponent's accuracy against your Pokemon in sand, if I remember correctly. So on top of everything that makes Garchomp strong with its stats, its ability also just made it harder to hit, if I remember correctly. So it also has access to like Swords Dance, so it can get stronger. Yeah, it's just an all-around really strong Pokemon. Yeah, like, you know, it gets Stab Earthquake, which is always really useful because Earthquake's a really reliable, dependable move. Because of its really high attack stat, you know, Dragon Claw does pretty good damage. I think it learns, like, what other moves does it learn that would be really useful for it to take advantage of? I think it learns... Does it learn Stone Edge? Pretty sure it learns it now, but did it learn it back then? I don't remember. But yeah, I mean, it does have it's very solid move pool. Now, I will say, relating this back to Snorlax, while Snorlax might have never been banned from singles competitive, Snorlax was the #1 Pokemon in Gen 2 competitive. Like, Snorlax was a menace in Generation 2 competitive. Like, the entire meta of Gen 2 competitive was warped around Snorlax. It was so good. Unlike Lucario. What about... Yeah, I mean, Lucario is not like the strongest thing out there. Lucario does have a good move pool itself. Like, it's got a pretty diverse move pool. But yeah, I mean, it's got decent stats too. You know, it's solid enough. Like, I think Lucario is a pretty solidly OU Pokemon for a while. It's never broken, but it's good. Yeah, Snorlax definitely used to be more exclusive. You know, it used to be kind of just a static encounter Pokemon. That was... I don't know if I'd say it was like the rarest thing in the world. Definitely Generation 4, not, you know, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, it was a static Pokemon. But yeah, Diamond Pearl Platinum was certainly really tough to get a freaking Snorlax in because Munchlax was so rare. Is there a Pokemon you'd wish be better and competitive? I can't really speak to VGC at all. I don't know VGC. And really, I haven't dabbled in singles very much recently, but a Pokemon that's a favorite of mine that I wish was better and competitive would probably be... It's tough. That is tough. It's like, Weavile's my second favorite Pokemon. It's generally been pretty good competitively. Like, it's never really been a bad Pokemon competitively. You know, now, unfortunately, Chien-Pao does, you know, outdo it in, like, every way. So that is unfortunate, but... And, I mean, there was a while where Espeon was, like, decent. That's one of my favorite Pokemon. That is tough. A lot of my favorite Pokemon have been pretty good. Like, Aegislash is one of my favorites, and it's a very, very solid Pokemon. It's been, it's very strong. I guess, is there like an underrated Pokemon that I kind of wish was better? Okay, weird one. And this is just purely going off of Pokemon I kind of feel like are underrated. Not necessarily like I'm dying for them to be good competitively, but like I just think they're underrated. I don't know what it is about Solrock and Lunatone, but I actually think they're really cool. Specifically Lunatone, I like that one more. But, Solrock still kind of fits there. I feel like they're underrated Pokemon. I think they have cool designs. I kind of like their ambiance and aesthetic. I think they're the only rock psychic types out there. So that is kind of cool. They still have an exclusive type. At least I think. There might be a rock psychic type nowadays that I'm not remembering. But Absol is cool. Absol is definitely cool. I guess Absol's never been like the greatest thing out there. Mega Absol wasn't like world breaking either, which was kind of disappointing. Mega Absol looked really cool. Its stats seemed like it would be a very strong Pokemon, but I don't think it ever really did much. Close my door real quick. I mean, they're just not the strongest Pokemon out there. Their base stat total is not super high. Rock Psychic doesn't have the greatest defensive coverage. It has a pretty good number of weaknesses. I guess one of them is neutralized by their ability, though, being Levitate. Yeah, it kind of just boils down to they don't have the greatest stats in the world. And I don't think their move pool is like the greatest thing ever. They're just pretty well like average Pokemon. Like they're never intended to be like insanely strong Pokemon. They're pretty just run of the mill, kind of like decently solid mid game Pokemon, but nothing that you're gonna use for more difficult fights, I guess I would say. And then like they came online as psychic types as the psychic type started to get a little bit weaker. You know, psychic was still pretty solid in Gen 3, but you know, they started adding even more dark types to the game, which hinders psychic type. And yeah, the longer Pokemon has gone on, the worse the... Why am I not responding over here? What are we doing? The worse the psychic type has gotten. So that doesn't bode too well for him either. Oh no, they're better than Delibird. Delibird is one of the worst Pokemon ever made. That thing is actually useless. Unfortunately, I like Delibird. I think it's a fun design. I think it's cute. But man, it's bad. Like, ice flying is just not a good typing. Specifically, you know, rocks with the rock typing around. Ice flying, just rough defensive typing. Doesn't really have any great offensive presence. Like, it has the move present. Don't get me wrong. You know, it has present, but that is one awful move right there. Anytime I've ever seen Delibird used to any kind of extent, it's just to like set up spikes. I think it gets spikes. And like use Destiny Bond to take something down with it. Yeah, Present is Delibird's signature move. And it is not a very good one. It does random amounts of damage, or it could just heal your opponent. There are certain roles of Present that are actually kind of strong. You know, it can get a little bit on the stronger side if it gets a good roll. But you also just run the risk of healing your opponent, which is not great. What am I? I'm all over the place here. Come on. Let's get back on track. Yep. Present can just heal your opponent. And it is all up to RNG. Now, Iron Bundle. Iron Bundle is a Pokemon. Iron Bundle is that is a strong Pokemon right there. Delibird certainly upgrades into the future. So, that's good to know, at least. Would you run a playthrough with him? Mareep, bad? Ampharos is a great Pokemon. Mareep's not a bad Pokemon. Shoot, Ampharos is one of the only solidly good Pokemon to come out of Generation 2. A lot of Gen 2 Pokemon are weak. Ampharos is fortunately not one of them. It's not the strongest thing in the world, don't get me wrong. It's not a world breaker or anything, but I would definitely not call Ampharos a bad Pokemon. It is a little bit on the slower side, which you don't love for electric types. You do like electric to be a bit faster, but you can certainly work around it. I mean, in terms of electric types, like, sure, you could probably use better ones. Especially in, you know, more modern games. Sure. The Gen 2 bear Pokemon, you know, talking about Ursaring. Let's just say there is a reason why they gave Ursaring an evolution in Generation 9. It's a cool Pokemon, don't get me wrong. Ursaring's cool. But it was never all that. It was probably decent, you know, in terms of Generation 2, it probably was one of the better Pokemon from Gen 2, but still wasn't a very strong Pokemon. It definitely needed the evolution. Yeah, Ursaluna. Well, I guess I said Generation 9. Ursaluna is technically Generation 8. I guess I got that wrong. Because Ursaluna came out in Legends Arceus. Blood Moon Ursaluna came out in Gen 9. But that is not technically an evolution of Ursaring. Because Blood Moon Ursaluna is just a standalone Pokemon. But yeah, in Legends Arceus, Ursaring got an evolution. Good old Ursaluna. And that thing is a beast. I mean, that's fair. That is fair. I really haven't either, to be honest. Like, I played Pokemon Moon, and then I played Ultra Sun a little bit, and then I did play Sword and Shield, but not much. Like, I played through it once and wasn't super big into it, but after Sword and Shield, I haven't really played all that much. And by not all that much, I mean basically none. I haven't played Pokemon after Sword and Shield basically at all. But I certainly do agree with that sentiment. I am a Gen 1 to 5 person, indeed. I am, yeah. I'm not big on Gen 1. I don't really go out of my way to play Gen 1. It's fine. I would prefer playing like Fire Red, Leaf Green if I were to play through a Kanto game, but yeah, the 2D Pokemon games, you know, before they went all 3D, those are definitely my bread and butter. With specifically Generation 5 is my favorite of all the gens. But I agree, I've never been the biggest fan of the way 3D Pokemon games look. They weren't bad. There was a, you know, I liked X and Y and Oris. Like, I thought those were fun when they came out. But as I look back on the games, like, I do definitely prefer the aesthetic of the pixel art style, the 2D style. I do feel like it gives Pokemon more life. Specifically in battle, I'll say the overworld of 3D Pokemon is not the worst thing in the world. You know, the overworld aesthetics, I know people complain about Sword and Shield, Scarlet Violet overworld not looking the most polished. But specifically the battles are where I feel like the difference can be seen in terms of like the livelihood of the Pokemon. You know, that's where I feel 2D Pokemon definitely excels over 3D is the battles. They just look better. Man, But hey, Legends ZA is looking like it'll shape up to be, you know, solid. So I am definitely excited about that. I'm excited to see how they push Pokemon forward with that game. See how it looks. Accidentally did not talk to that Victini. Whoopsie. But I'll definitely still say that I'll definitely forever be a 2D Pokemon stan. That'll forever be my thing. Yeah, I do like the constant moving sprite animations of Generation 5. I especially like in Black 2, White 2 that, you know, in Black and White, I think Generation 4 had it a little bit where some trainers have like sprite animations as you go into battle with them, like the prominent ones, you know, the gym leaders maybe, and your rival, the, you know, Elite Four, all that. And then that kind of that continued over into Black and White, where only like the prominent trainers really had like animated sprites in the intro, and all the regular trainers were just there. But then Black 2, White 2, every single trainer in the game actually has a animated sprite when you enter into battle, and I really like that. I think it's a nice vibe, nice little aesthetic. Trying to finish My Hero Academia, very nice. The anime, okay, that answers me. You have like 4 episodes left. Very cool, very cool. Season 7 was a banger for sure. I enjoyed season 7. I think season's curtain call goes hard. What is that? The intro, the OP title? I'm not too great with OP names. I like listen to them and be like, oh yeah, this is really, I enjoy this, but I don't ever really look into the title of the song. I'll like recognize them, but I'll just say like, oh, that's the My Hero Academia OP, whatever. I gotcha, okay. Yeah, I don't really remember My Hero ever having an OP I didn't like. Like, I generally think they're pretty good across the board. My favorite one will forever be the first OP from Season 3. I'm actually rewatching My Hero right now myself, and I'm currently in the middle of Season 3. And yeah, that OP is just forever going to be my favorite one. And then the first OP from Season 4 is really good as well. I really like that one. And then what else? I mean, the OG, the very first opening, very first OP, that one's iconic. That one's really good too. I feel you there. I've actually only ever watched the second movie. I don't know why. I really liked the second movie. I thought the second movie was really good, but for some reason I've never watched the first one or the third, or I think there's a fourth now too. I definitely should. I've, heard they're all good, but they have a My Hero Academia something coming to Netflix? Did not know that. I know I've heard that My Hero Vigilantes is coming out this year. Because there was a spin-off manga to My Hero called Vigilantes. I think I've heard that that's coming out this year, right? Something like that. I didn't know there was anything for Netflix. That's interesting. Actually saw the second My Hero Academia movie in theaters, which, shoot, now that was well over 5 years ago, which is crazy. That was early on during mine and Emily's relationship that we went to see that. Which, an interesting thing about that second movie is it actually kind of spoils the show a little bit. Because in the... It's not really anything. You know, obviously Deku has multiple quirks. That is something you learn throughout the show. Well, before it's revealed in the show that Deku has multiple quirks, it's mentioned in the second movie. Which is interesting. Like, that was how I found out Deku has multiple quirks, was they mentioned it in that movie. Because it's kind of like out of chronological order. Like, the movies, I think I've heard that the movies, yeah, I mean, yeah, I know where he gets the quirks from. But like, in the movie came out in between seasons 3 and 4, I believe. Like, or no, actually, when did the movie come out? I don't remember. But I just know when the movie came out, they hadn't gotten to the point in the show yet where it was revealed that Deku has multiple quirks. Like, you don't know in the movie why he has multiple quirks. It's just like revealed that he does. He doesn't use them though. Like, it's like a one-off line that, you know, one of the villains says, because like the villain is able to like detect it for some, you know, in the movie. Now in the manga, they had gotten to the point where it was revealed that, you know, Deku had multiple quirks through One for All, but hadn't quite gotten there yet in the anime. And so the movie revealing that was kind of like a little bit of a spoiler for anime onlys. Not that I really cared at the time. I've never really been the kind of person who like cares that much about spoilers. I you know, I'll avoid them, but I don't really get too upset if I do accidentally see them. So I just thought of it as like a fun little teaser, like, oh, Deku has multiple quirks, you say? Well, let's find out about that later on. You go at Black Whip. You want to be Spider-Man? Which I've always thought is kind of funny. Like, all of Deku's quirks together kind of just make him Spider-Man, but in a, you know, obviously a different way, because he has other quirks that aren't necessarily Spider-Man related. But between, you know, the super strength, the Black Whip, the danger sense, you know, that's pretty Spider-Man in terms of abilities. Now, obviously, Spider-Man can't fly. Deku, you know, can float, all that. Spider-Man doesn't emit a smoke screen like, you know, Deku can, but... Umbra? What you mean, Umbra? Fits the hero name too. Oh, you're saying that would be your hero name. Okay, I didn't make that connection. I gotcha. I don't know. You know, honestly, kind of thinking about it and like superhero media and stuff, or like just, you know, superheroes in general. For most of my life growing up, I didn't really care for the idea of like super speed. It was never really on my radar. But the older I get and the more I think about it, super speed would be like the Flash level of fast. You know, Quicksilver. I know, you know, canonically, I think the Flash is infinitely faster than like Quicksilver is in Marvel, but I think having super speed would be a really cool power. It also seems kind of broken depending on the context and like the application. Oh, very nice, very cool. But still, though, I don't know if that would necessarily. I don't know if I'd go with super speed for a power or a quirk like that. I mean, it's really hard not to go basic and just say like super strength, but it's just like you see what All Might was able to do with just super strength, and it's kind of like, well, why would I not just want to have, you know, insane power to do basically anything? Also, I think Todoroki has a really cool quirk. I like the half ice, half fire quirk. Obviously, the implications around how that quirk came to be, not very good. Endeavor's motives to give Todoroki that quirk, obviously pretty messed up, but at the end of the day, it's a really cool quirk. Yeah, that was pretty solid. It was kind of something I wouldn't say I like 100% saw coming, but it was kind of something that I wouldn't say always, but at a certain point, I did kind of start to think like they were keeping Dabi's real identity pretty, you know, very hidden. And so at a certain point, I did kind of I just can't speak today. I did start to think, like, does he have some kind of relation to the Todorokis? Because out of all the League of Villain members, he's like the only character that you go a long time without figuring out their real name. In fact, most of the League of Villains characters, you like learn their real name pretty early into the show. Dobby's the only one where it's kept a secret, so it kind of seems suspicious. Like, why is his real name being so guarded? And then when they did reveal that Todoroki had a brother who had died, it was pretty, to me, it was like, okay, I don't think Toyo's dead, and he's probably Dobby. Yeah, Twice was really cool. Twice had a broken ability. You understand why Hawks decided that Twice had to go. I mean, shoot, you just see Toga wield freaking Sad Man's Parade, and it's just like, yeah, if Twice had been allowed to unleash this, I don't know what chance the heroes would have had. Man, my right side is just bothering me today. I need to like really stretch it out. Goodness. You watched it, or you passed it up? Like you passed on it, or you already passed that? I was kind of thinking that. I was like, you said you had 4 episodes left. I hope that did happen already in the show. I was like, hopefully I didn't spoil anything there. You watched the episode, okay. Good. I was hoping, I did start to think about that. I was like, I hope I didn't spoil anything by saying that right there. Couldn't remember exactly when in the season she used it. I'll say one of my only slight gripes about the show is All for One returning. That is like one of my slightest little grievances, I guess I could say, about the show. I kind of wish All for One had just stayed away, because I feel like bringing him back kind of lessens Shigaraki as a villain, especially in what they've done with their relationship. I kind of just feel like it lessens Shigaraki's menace, like his menacing as a villain, when you just know that it's kind of like all for One. Like, yeah, All for One is the main villain of the story, of the One for All story. But I kind of liked it more as like, okay, All for One was All Might's villain. All Might conquered All for One. Shigaraki is Deku's, like. That was kind of just my thing, like intertwining them, bringing All for One back. Basically having him like possess Shigaraki in a way. I don't know. I would have just liked it better if Shigaraki just came into his own as like the greatest. And even if you wanted to say that like okay, the doctor dude gave Shigaraki all for one and like increased the power of his decay quirk and all that. Like that would have been fine, but the whole idea of like all for one like taking over Shigaraki, I'm not really a fan of. Like if you wanted to have the doctor upgrade Shigaraki and make him stronger so that he's a bigger threat and like can stand toe to toe with Deku in One for All, like, that's fine. But I feel like by bringing All for One back into the fold, you kind of diminish the villainy of Shigaraki, because then it really is just All for One. I feel like he should just be All Might's nemesis, who was conquered in, you know, the beginning of the show. Yeah, they do say that he just had like, you know, a pierced lung or something. I guess, I don't know, were they vague about if he actually lived or not? I can't remember. But when he came back, when they like broke out of jail and everything, I was really kind of hoping Stain would have more of a presence in the show, like after getting out of jail. But he kind of like came back for a little cameo in a way, and then didn't really do anything. Maybe he'll be more involved somehow in season 8, but I doubt it. I mean, yeah, I mean, Shigaraki, yeah, obviously is still in the show, but... And to an extent, like, Shigaraki, yes, is the main villain. Like, you know, he's the one that Deku is fighting. But I feel like by bringing back All for One, breaking him out of prison, you know, allowing him to continue fighting, and his takeover of Shigaraki kind of, to me personally, detracts from Shigaraki as a villain. Also, I'm generally not always the biggest fan of anime, just anime in general, not just My Hero Academia. I'm not the biggest fan of animes being unable to kill off characters, or unwilling, even villains, you know. I kind of wish, it's one thing I like about Attack on Titan. I just wish you could like introduce a character, be willing to get rid of them, and just not bring them back. Like, All for One didn't, I feel like All for One didn't really need to come back. Shoot, they even bring back Overhaul for a second. Like, you know, Overhaul doesn't die. He's there in some capacity. It's just, I don't know. I wish anime would be more willing to off characters and not find ways to bring them back. Because sometimes I do feel like it takes away some of the impact of these big moments when it's like, you know, oh my god, that character, did they just die? It's like, no, they didn't die. This is anime. No one ever dies. Other than the most irrelevantly, like, minor characters that you don't really care about at all. Maybe they'll die, but like, you don't ever really see major deaths. And if you do, they find a way to retcon it and bring them back, so. Okay. Readjust here for a second. Bring my... Gotta get comfy. It's easier said than done for me. Goodness. Let's see, I think probably not, maybe Trying to think here about the hunt real quick. Oh, nope. Need to go down, then go up. Man, I feel like I might try standing up. There's like something that is bothering my back right now. I think I'm gonna try and stand up. Maybe that'll help out. Hopefully I am all good with my cords and nothing gets tripped up and knocked over. I think I'm good. Oh, nope, nope. My stream deck was going. The cord on the stream deck isn't the longest thing in the world, so it did kind of start going when I put the desk up, so I might need to get an extension or something so that doesn't happen. Would be... Oh, very cool. Very cool. That is pretty crazy. 7 years. I remember I started watching My Hero way back in... Well, I guess... It's kind of decently long ago now. I think I started watching in 2019, early in 2019. I think the 3rd season had just came out when I started watching. I remember I was on Twitter one day, I think. I just started watching anime kind of more seriously because I just graduated college. I hadn't quite started a job yet, so I had a lot of free time. And I think the first thing I tried watching was One Punch Man because I was just bored trying to find something to watch, something to do. And I tried watching One Punch Man in the past and didn't really get hooked to it, but I was like, you know what? I'll give it a shot again. Why not? And then I watched that. I think I watched like 7 Deadly Sins or something. And then I believe on Twitter, I saw a small clip that someone had posted from like season 3, like a little small clip of My Hero. And I was like, you know what? That looks kind of cool. I'll give that a shot for my next show that I watch. And then I ended up watching it, and actually it became my favorite anime. I would still say of all, I would say My Hero is still my favorite. I wouldn't say it's the best anime I've ever watched. Obviously, I think Attack on Titan is the best one I've ever watched. It's well up there, you know, as one of my favorites. AOT is. JJK is really good. I'm not as big into My Hero as I once was, but I was definitely never one of the crazy fans. I never really understood why My Hero got the fandom that it did, why people kind of went a little weird and crazy with it. Oh, the sludge monster from early in the show. I didn't remember him making a reappearance. I forgot about that. So do I have... I don't know. I was going to say, I actually, way back in 2020, right after COVID hit and quarantine and all that, Emily and I decided to paint stuff together. Just paint something random. Just a little quarantine isolation date. And I decided to paint Bakugo. I still have it. I'm pretty sure it's in my closet though, and I can't quite get to it. But I just found a picture of him online and kind of just copied it. I'm not a good artist by any means, but I'm decently capable of copying stuff, you know, that I see, kind of mimicking what I could, you know, a picture and putting it on the paper. It's like I'm semi-decent at that. So I think it turned out kind of good. But I can't quite get to it. I do have a decent number of My Hero pop figures down here in this little shelf. I did get 2 of them pretty recently. Found these at GameStop recently. They have a, you know, Deku in the dark Deku era with his little giddy up, the black whip coming off of him. So this one's pretty cool. And then they also had a, oh, he didn't want to stay standing up for some reason. Had a Dobby with the white hair. It was pretty sweet. Also got this one not too long ago. Good old Todoroki. And this is from the sports festival, I think, when he fought Deku. This guy's a little, or maybe not. I don't know. This is like kind of just his hero get up. He doesn't really have a costume. It's kind of just what the school gets. So maybe it's not from the sports festival. Still though, pretty neat. Got those kind of recently. Get a new desk. Those are two very different, two different things. A desk versus a uniform. I guess I would say, do you need a desk? Like, is the desk a priority, a necessity? Because you probably would want to prioritize that one. Oh, accidentally went backwards there. I gotcha. Yeah, maybe if you're able to build up the money, you might want to prioritize that. Because a good desk, speak from experience, a good desk is very, very helpful. Can do a lot for you to have a good desk. Okay, let's get out of there. Keep accidentally fighting these unknown. I just realized my Scyther is almost at half HP because I keep accidentally fighting these things. Just keep taking little bits of damage here, there. Kind of looking at it here. I think what I'm going to do... maybe not. I was just thinking I might redact that statement. I might take that one back. Well, actually, no. Okay, so what I was going to say is I'm going to take the unknown hunt over here. I'm going to take that up to 450 encounters. I think once we get to 450, I'm going to put that one away for the time being. We'll just call that one where it is. And then I will continue on the Victini one up until, I guess, 2,900. I think I will. I'll call it right at 2,900. And then we'll do a little race to 3K before in the next stream for it. If I can get my words out today. Keep stumbling over my words. Because, yeah, it's almost been about 2 hours, so I think it'll be a... God, I'm just all over the place right now. With my speech. I don't know what it's gotta be the sinuses, the allergies. But yeah, I think that'll be a good place to call it for the evening. Pick back up with this next week. Alright, so with that, that'll be the last unknown we see for the day. We'll just call it up here in this little corner. We'll go to save real quick. And we'll get out of this game. We'll turn you off. Then we'll move over to the solo Victini setup here for a second, and then we will call it there. I guess I should go over here and click end hunt. So let me check on this real quick. We're good right there. Yeah. Guess we'll go back over here. All right, there we go. Do this for a few more encounters here. See if we can get us a Shiny Victini before the stream ends, before we call it a night. Accidentally, I think I clicked through that a little too fast. All right, there we go. I gotta say, I am pretty excited for the stream on Friday. I'm going back to Kaizo Ironmon on Friday. I've been itching to get back to that ever since last week because I feel like we're in a really good position with that run right now because we got a good old Mudchamp that has like shift gear. It has really good physical attacks and, you know, solid physical offense, really bulky. I feel like we might actually be able to make it kind of far with that thing. So I've been itching to get back to Kaizo Ironmon, see if we can actually piece together a run or if it'll all come crumbling down as it has in the past. Every time I do this hunt, by the end of it, as we inch closer and closer, or as we inch farther and farther into the hunt, I should say, I keep getting worried that I have not adequately done the shiny lock removal and that I am just wasting my time here. But I must hold fast and true and just believe in myself. Do I ever play Showdown randoms? I used to play Showdown randoms all the time. I used to play probably 10 plus games of Showdown randoms every day. I don't really do that much anymore, although I think within the last week I have just randomly jumped on. I think I did jump on Showdown and play a couple of randoms games. But yeah, that was always my favorite thing to do on Showdown. I was never really, I don't think I actually got those encounters to go through. I think we're supposed to be up 2 more. I dabbled in, you know, trying to actually play OU, UU, and all that. But I always found randoms just more fun. I do enjoy the occasional Showdown randoms. 2 more episodes left. Very nice, very fun. Those last few episodes are pretty heat, so you will certainly enjoy them. But let's see, we got 2 more encounters here for us on the night. 2 more chances to get a Victini. Do we got it in us? Not. We do not. We do not. Unfortunately, yet another stream we go without finding a Shiny Victini, but hey, that is all right. We're looking pretty good. We know we did pretty good last month, locking up the some good old shinies. So I'm not too pressed about getting anything too soon. We'll get there when we get there. Yeah, I like to call it a night once we get to good round numbers. Like we got the unknown hunt, and now this one to nice little even round increments. But yeah, using terrestrialization is actually pretty fun. It's a pretty good gimmick. I do enjoy it. I like it. It is fun. It is fun. But yeah, with that, appreciate it as always to everyone coming out, listen to me rant, listen to me talk while we sit here looking for some shinies. And let's see, I'm gonna make a list of, that might be a long list. He has stolen a lot of quirks. But yeah, we'll be back here on Friday with some more Kaizo Ironmon. Again, I am looking forward to that because we got a pretty dang good Machamp on our hands, and I'm thinking it has the chance to take us all the way. But yeah, I hope to see you all then. And why am I failing to do this outro? I don't know. Sometimes I'm a little weird with the outro. Anyways, yeah, see y'all Friday.